So welcome everyone. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes to see if I can get if we get any more people joining. So I know there's a couple of people who are new to the sessions. So welcome. And if this is your first session, please remember that you want to be really fully aware of how your body feels today. Don't feel that you have to do absolutely everything. Just choose the things that you feel are good for your body and then stop, take a break. And if you have any movement that your health professional has discouraged you from doing, whatever that may be, just follow those guidelines and just skip the exercise or try and modify it if you want to, maybe just bending your elbows or not going as deep or just choosing not to do things that you think are not going to work for your body. Okay, so the practice today is inspired by the positive effects that yoga can have on our skeletic system. So that is our bones and our joints. So this particular practice is kind of designed around the concept that if you stimulate your bones through pressure, they will respond by becoming stronger. So one of the things that happens with age is that bone density begins to decline. So from a physiological perspective, you want to really make sure that you give your body the best chance to keep your skeleton nice and strong, because that's the framework where everything else attaches to. And this includes maybe looking at your nutrition, making sure that you eat plenty of dairy, unless you have a dairy intolerance, and that you make sure that your calcium intake and your vitamin D intake are within the norm. And if you're not sure about that, talk to your doctor and get a test for vitamin D. That is one of the most common deficiencies in this country and in the Nordic part of the North Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere coming out of winter, because vitamin D really is made in our body using sunlight. So when we have less sunlight, like during winter, then our body really struggles creating vitamin D. Okay, and that is essential for the good functioning of our skeleton and also for our immune system. Okay, so many people don't even know they have a vitamin D deficiency. So if you are feeling really tired and you don't know why, you may want to perhaps get that tested. Okay. Just speak to your doctor if you're not sure. Okay, so we're going to get started. And then today I'd like to finish the practice with a traditional Buddhist practice, which is called Vipassana meditation. And it's just a traditional way to embrace the concepts of meditation. Vipassana actually means insight. So we'll do that right at the end of the practice. Okay, to start with, just find a comfortable seated posture. And we are going to do some standing poses today, just to consolidate some of the things we're going to be doing. Okay, but we're going to start just by grounding ourselves. So find a comfortable seated posture. And again, if this is your first practice, make sure you feel comfortable, that you have a nice solid chair to support your practice. And then take your time to really feel your sit bones grounding onto the chair evenly. And feeling your spine elevating here, stretching nice and tall. Relaxing the hands on your thighs. And if it's comfortable for you, closing your eyes. And just allow your body to become heavy, your feet to ground. And take a moment with your eyes closed or softly open, gazing at the ground in front of you, to connect to how you feel in your body today. And the key here is really to try not to get involved with judging, with whatever it is that you find, but just trying to connect to those sensations with kindness and compassion, and taking them just as they are without wishing them to be any different. So since we are speaking and talking about the skeleton today, really take a moment to feel that connection with the ground and your chair, the connection through your feet and through your sit bones. And then follow your legs from your ankles to the joints of your knees. And from the joints of the knees to the joints of the hips. Pause here for a moment and feel the weight of your upper body connecting you to the chair you're sitting on. And then from here, feel the lightness of the upper body. Feel that beautiful structure of the spine stretching away from your sit bones all the way up to your neck. And then feel the weight of your head above your shoulders. And try and make it as light as you can. Feel the connection between the palms of your hands and your thighs. And again, allow your arms to be heavy here. You really want to feel the palms of your hands in contact with your legs. And then just for a few moments, draw your awareness to your breath. We're going to work on a pattern of about 5 breaths per movement today. So we want to really try and establish a pattern of breathing right at the beginning of the practice that will allow you to relax throughout. So this doesn't mean to force the breath to be deep into the belly, but rather to relax and try and focus on any obstacle you may be feeling to the flow of the breath. And invite softness in the abdomen, the lower back, the sides of the chest, and even the throat. The breath feels soft, natural, not forced in any way. And so we're going to start applying this concept that the bones become stronger if we apply a little pressure on them. You are already doing that by sitting on your sit bones with your spine nice and tall, hopefully on a chair that creates a little bit of pressure on your sit bones, and that strengthens the bones of the pelvis. I'd like you to bring your awareness to your neck. So your neck is made of bones and muscles. So there's a structure of bones. So we're going to try and create a little bit of pressure on this part of the body to begin with. So begin by dropping your left ear very slowly towards your left shoulder. Nice and slow. Focus rather than on the extension that you can feel on the right side of the neck. Focus more on a little bit on the compression you feel on the other side. As you inhale, bring the head back to neutral. Exhale, bring the left ear to the left shoulder, same side. Inhale back to center. If you have problems with your neck, don't go too deep here. Very small movements, okay? You can always go deeper, a little longer as we progress. We're going to do this 2 more times. So inhaling back to center. As you exhale, left ear to left shoulder and stretch your right arm out. Inhale, bring the right arm back. Bring the head back to center. As you exhale, stretch your right arm out, left ear to left shoulder. Hold it here, just 1 breath. As you inhale next, come back to center. We do the same on the other side. So inhaling, exhaling, right ear to right shoulder. Again, begin really slowly, just noticing how this side feels. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right here, right shoulder. Back to center. Exhale, right here, right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. 2 more. We're going to extend the left arm out. So as you exhale, right here to right shoulder, left arm stretches out. Inhale, back to center. And 1 more. Exhale, hold it here. Take 1 full breath. As you inhale next, bring your left hand down. And as you inhale, see if you can look up, bringing your chin up towards the sky. Again, that's really small movements. As you exhale, stretch the neck out. Bring your chin down towards your chest. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. You can go a little bit deeper every time. Obviously, neck permitting. Again, follow your breath. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale, look up. Maybe going a little further. Big stretch of the throat. Exhale. And 1 more. You're going to inhale. And if this feels comfortable, you're going to hold it here for a full breath. Try and keep your spine nice and tall. We are compressing the back of the neck here. Inhale, slowly come back to center. Imagine you have a pencil on your nose. You're going to draw some little circles with your nose. And nice and gentle. Just loosening things up a little. Some of those stretches can have been feeling a little uncomfortable. And we go the other way. Okay, back to center. We're going to move to our hands. So bring your hands together. Lift your elbows as high as you can. Okay, try and keep the hands quite close to the chest. Okay, so we're going to press the heels of the hands towards each other so that you can feel a little bit of pressure being created in between the hands. And then we're going to release and stretch the arms out. So now press the hands together. Elbows lift. Pressing together. Inhale, release. And again, exhale, number 3. Have a frog in my throat today. Inhale, relax. We've got 2 more. Exhale, press together. Press the left hand a little bit more and move your hands to the right. Inhale, stretch it out. Just 1 more. Exhale, bring the hands together. Press the right hand a little bit more and move the elbows towards the left. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, bring your hands together. Relax your elbows for a moment. Roll your shoulders if that creates a little bit of stress on your shoulders. Release the arms and then reach back with the palms of the hands. Reach back, right back, opening up the chest. Exhale, cross the arms, right arm on top. Inhale, open up, just releasing the pectoral muscles we've just been using. And then bring the arms together, left arm on top. Inhale, come back together, bring your hands back to the heart center. And this time we're going to bring the fingertips together. I'm a little bit closer for this one so you can see. Okay, so we're going to bring the fingertips together and then we're going to let the fingers roll onto each other. There's a little bit of pressure between the hands until you come to the back of the wrists meeting. You see here the elbows are lifting because you'll feel a little bit of sensation on your shoulders again. If you have shoulder issues at the moment, just go easy. Stop when it hurts. Okay. Again, roll it back. Come back to prayer pose. And again, nails towards each other. Rolling the fingers. Pressing the back of the wrists together. So we are working a little bit on creating some pressure on our wrists. Okay. And at the same time, we're working on the shoulders. It's all connected, okay? So when you do these very gentle movements, you're putting a little bit of pressure, not just on the bones of the hands, but also of your forearms. Okay, so hold it here and see if you can rotate your fingers forward. come into prayer position all the way, and then see if you come back the other way. So taking the hands back. See if you can stretch your arms forward. Come back to prayer. Let the elbows move as they want. Stretch the hands forward. And do that just one more time. So this time it's the sides of the hands that touch. So reaching forward, keep pressing the back of the hands together, and then we bring the hands back to the front. Lace your fingers, relax your elbows. Do some tiny little circles with your hands. So notice which hand is on top. Okay, that will be your habitual hand. And notice if one hand is doing more work than the other. And try and use both hands to do these rolls. Okay, so if you normally have your right hand leading, try and let the left hand do some work too. Okay. And then try and roll the other way, which will feel a little bit unnatural. Okay, just have a little go. Okay, we're going to do the same, but this time you uncross and cross the hands the other way. So it's the opposite thumb on top. And again, you just roll the wrists. We've done this one before, and it does feel weird every time, even if we've done it before. Again, notice which hand wants to take over and share the load, okay? So we're connecting the brain and the mind, okay, to make sure we're using all the muscles in the hands, not just our dominant hand. Okay, so you're going the other way a couple of times. Okay, shake it up, and then relace the hands like you would normally do. You squeeze the hands quite a bit, but not too tight, okay? So you're squeezing your fingers quite tight, and then try and see if you can bring your elbows as close to each other as you can. For some of you, this movement can be quite uncomfortable, or it might be not very easily achieved, okay? So just get to whatever closeness you can between the elbows, and begin to move your wrists again. But this time, we're going to move the arms as well. So you're going to draw a figure of 8 with your hands and your arms. Okay, this will make your shoulders a little bit fatigued. Imagine your hands are the head of a snake, and your snake is moving. Okay, we're going to take it up. Keep it going, keep rolling the wrists, and then come back down. Okay, and then you're going to shake it out, and we're going to open the chest again. So take your hands behind you. Just making sure that you feel that nice stretch across here, the pectoral muscles that have just been squeezing as you brought your hands together. Okay, and again, just take a little hug. Right arm on top. And stretch. Maybe your fingertips point back all the way, stretching the forearms out. And we take the left arm on top. Good. Bring the hands down and take a little rest. We're going to do some work with the core and the legs. So for this one, you're going to have to move a little bit to the right side of your chair and take your leg out to the side a little bit. Make sure that you feel nice and grounded, okay? So make sure you're not falling off the chair and that the chair is really steady. And if you don't have a chair that is steady enough, just stay centered, okay? Doesn't matter about the leg, okay? So here, I'm going to keep the right hand on the right hip, okay? And we're going to reach up towards the sky. Okay, so this is our kind of destination, okay? So we're going to start in this position. Okay, so you're going to be right here in this position. And as you inhale, you're going to stretch out. Exhaling, you're going to bring it in. And if you prefer not to use your legs, just stretch your left arm out, okay? And you're going to bring it in. Okay, we're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, we're going to go to the other side. So shift to the other side of the chair. Again, you can stay centered if you want to. Left hand on the left hip. Take your left foot back. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to go too far. Ground through your right leg. Okay. So again, this is going to be our destination pose. Okay, so that's our inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to come back to center. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Exhale. You might feel that as you bring that leg back, more pressure is put on this hip. Okay. So we're trying to create a little bit of extra pressure with an asymmetrical pause here. Exhale, coming back to center. Okay, release, come back all the way to the center of the chair. Bring your hands to your shoulders and roll the elbows. We're just preparing a couple of bits of the body. And then we go the other way. Nice little circles. Okay, we stand nice and tall with the hands firmly on the shoulders. As you exhale, you're going to twist. Inhaling back to center. And as you exhale, you twist the other way. So another way to put pressure on the spine to create strength is to twist. Okay? So again, exhaling, turning to the right. Inhaling to center. Exhaling to the left. Back to center. Inhale, twist to the right and extend your arms out. Exhale to center. Sorry, inhale to center. Exhale, stretch to the other side. Inhale, one more time on each side. Exhale. Again, if you have issues with your spine, just go really easy here. Okay, inhale, roll your shoulders. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhaling, coming back to center. Bring the hands down to the knees, straight into cat-cow. Okay, so nice tall spine. Inhaling, chest forward. Exhaling back. Inhaling, chest forward, so we are transferring some of that pressure from the neck, like we did before, okay, to the upper spine, and a little bit on the lower spine. Exhale. Again, if you have issues with your spine, go really easy with these movements. Make them very small and gentle. Exhale. We've got two more. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Back to center. Nice tall spine. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Pause here for a moment. Take a couple of breaths. And then I would like you to turn towards the left side of your chair, just like I am now, with the back of the chair to your left. Okay. So from here, we're going to, again, just drop that leg out to the side. Let's go back so that you can maybe see my bottom foot. Okay, so make sure, again, if you feel a little bit unstable, this foot can be out to the side or it can be this way. Okay. Actually, let's take it out to the side. It might feel a little bit more comfortable for more people. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is to, first of all, check what your left leg is doing. So you're going to try and keep it going out to the side and ground through your heel. Okay, so again, trying to connect to the ground and create some pressure on those bones. Most of the pressure is still on your sit bones because you're sitting on the ground, okay? But we can kind of have that intention of pressing down through the floor. And the same for this knees going down this way. Now, I'd like you to try and see if you can find contact with your chair with your left hand, okay? And then we're going to try and do a little bit of a flow here. So we're going to stretch forward with the right arm. And then as we inhale, we're going to open up to a side plank. Exhaling, stretching forward with the right arm. Inhaling, opening up. And again, exhaling, reaching forward. Inhaling, opening up. Now notice how the body is shifting its weight from one hip to the other. Okay, as you move, you might feel more sensation on the two legs. Okay, so at the same time, the weight of the body is moving from one to the other. Okay, let's do one more. Stretch forward and open up to the side. I think that was about 6. Stretch your arms out. Hold it here for a moment. Keep taking both knees out to the side. So opening up your knees. Take your left hand to the back of your head. Take it away. Take your right hand to the back of your head. Move slowly. And if your shoulders are not up to this, lower them right down. Okay, one more. Tap the back of your head. Come back out, head, and out. Bring both hands to the chest. Keep pushing your knees out to the side. One more breath. Straighten the spine nice and tall. Relax for a moment. So you can let your hands land on your thighs. Stay in this position. We're just going to finish off with some standing poses. So we've done these ones before. From this position, keep your legs as they are, 90 degrees. Keep drawing the hips up. Turn so that your chest is facing forward towards me. And then stretch your arms out for warrior two. Turn your gaze towards your left hand. Bring your left hand to the back of your head. And then as you exhale, bring your elbows slowly down towards your knee, or as close as you can. You might be up here. Okay? Then you stretch your arm down and take your right arm up and over for extended side angle. Inhale, come back up. Release your hands to the heart center. Stretch your leg out. Stretch the arms out. Bend your left arm. Bring your left hand to the back of the head. And again, try and come forward a little bit. Stretch the left arm out and find the inside of your left thigh. Just one breath here for triangle pose. Inhale, come back up, hands to the heart. Take this left leg back in. Take a little rest. Wiggle from side to side if you feel like there's a little bit of tension on your lower back. Take a couple of breaths. So that we're compounding quite a lot of movements, putting, legs and arms and core together. So you might feel like your heart rate is going up a little bit and you're breathing a little bit heavier, and that's normal. Okay, might even feel a little bit warmer. We're using big muscles to keep our hips open. Okay, so things might change in your breath and your heart rate. Okay, so we're going to go straight to the other side to do that side plank position. So we're going to take the right leg out to the side this time. Again, we're going to try and keep the legs going in opposite directions. And this time it's the right hand that rests on the chair. Okay, if that's not working, just feel free to bring the elbow to the front thigh. Okay, so this is just so that we can mimic that movement of the pressure down into the wrist and feel the pressure on the bones. Okay, when we age and we increase the danger of falling, for example, the typical injuries are broken hips, unfortunately, broken femurs, wrists, forearms. Okay, so the limbs are really long, so they're easily impacted by any fall. So we want to try and create strategies to create that density in the bones by bringing some pressure onto them. So we're going to do that same little flow. Keep your knees going away from each other. Ground through that right foot. With this left hand, we're going to reach forward. So you shift the weight onto your right wrist. And then you open up into a side plank. So we lean forward, exhaling, inhaling. And again, the legs are taking part of this. So forward, opening up to the side. And again, we've got a couple more to do. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling forward. And we do that just one more time. Inhaling and exhaling. Slowly coming back to center, stretching the arms out. And we're going to just tap the back of the head. Stretching out. And then bringing the other hand down. Watch what your knees are doing. You want to keep them going away from each other. A little bit of core work here. Just once more. Stretching out. And again. Okay, we're going to take a little break for the shoulders because that was quite a long time. Okay, so breathe. Take a couple of breaths. Soften the shoulders. Roll them. We're going to go into our warrior two side angle and triangle pose sequence. Okay, I can feel my left hip is a lot stiffer. This is my left hip, but it's for you, it's the right one. Okay, so keep going out with your knees. Turn your shoulders forward. If your lower back says no, then keep your torso wherever it feels good for you. Okay. And we're going to stretch the arms out for warrior two. So imagine your hands are floating on the sea. Okay. And then you're going to gently turn your gaze towards your right hand. We bend the right elbow, bringing the right hand to the back of the head. Lean down, stretch the arm out, and then take the left arm up and over. With this shoulder, you can always wrap this arm around. Okay, if the shoulder says no, as you go up, you always wrap it. Breathe in, come back to your warrior two. Keep your knees going away from each other. Take the right hand to the back of the head. Stretch your right leg out. Hold. Stretch the arm out. And take the left arm right up towards the sky for triangle pose. Just one breath. Inhaling, we come back to center. Bringing the hands back to the heart. And we take this right knee back to center. And again, just taking maybe a little wiggle for the lower back. Just bringing everything back to where it belongs. Okay, so ground your heels. And here's the option. We're gonna lift up to standing. You can stay on your chair, okay, and just imagine you're doing the sequence, okay? So we're gonna do a sequence with chair pose. So we're gonna do a couple on the chair, and then we're gonna lift up for those of you who want to practice standing. Let me just turn the camera down a little so I'll be able to see my feet. Okay. So this is going to require a little bit of coordination. Okay. So chair pose, the shape of chair pose is quite literally we're sitting on the chair, but we're going to draw the belly in, lengthen the lower back, and leaning forward, taking the arms out in front of us. In this position, you're going to come up onto your tippy toes. And then you're going to keep leaning forward, but your arms are going to come back and you're going to lift your toes. Okay? So you're going to inhale, coming up onto your tippy toes, reaching forward. Exhaling, shifting to the heels and reaching back. Let's do one more on the chair. So stay leaning forward, inhaling, tippy toes, reach forward. Exhaling on your heels and reaching back. Okay, we're going to do two more. And if you're up to it, lift up to standing. We're going to have a little go standing. Okay. So we're going to inhale forward, just lifting the heels a little. And as you exhale, you're just quite literally peeling your toes off the mat or off the floor. Okay. So one more. Tippy toes, quite literally just peeling the heels off the mat, off the floor. And exhaling, reaching back, lifting the toes. Okay. So if you're sitting, stay sitting, bringing the hands to the heart and just make your spine nice and tall. And if you're standing, stand nice and tall in mountain pose. If possible, shift behind your chair so that you can find balance behind your chair. Okay, so this is the last one of our practice today. So if you're sitting on the chair, you can just mimic what we're doing on the chair, okay, or standing up, okay, except that your knees are bent. So we want to have that nice tall spine, okay, and then we're going to try and balance onto the left foot and lift the right foot off the ground. So you can do this on the chair, okay, and bringing the right foot down and lifting the left foot up. Okay, so focus on that nice tall spine. You can have your hands on the chair seat if you're sitting. Okay, if you're standing, you're just shifting from one foot to the other. Just lifting one foot after the other. Okay, we're going to land on the left foot. So if you're on the chair, just press through your left foot. You're going to lift your right foot up and you're going to take the right foot to the side of the ankle with your toes still on the floor. So opening up the hips. This is the same shape you've taken on the chair before, except you're standing. Okay, notice if your bum wants to go out, tuck the tail under, get a little bit of engagement in your belly. Keep balancing on the chair and take whatever free hand you may have to your heart center. Just pause here for a moment if you want to try and balance on that foot. But be very careful, okay, make sure that you are being safe, okay? So in this particular pose, whether we're sitting or standing, this leg is taking all the way to the body through the foot. Okay, it's tree pose. We release, and we're gonna try the other side, okay? So I'm gonna show you this way. So we're gonna try the right leg again, same thing if you are sitting, okay? So you're gonna lift your left foot up, and then you're gonna turn your leg out to the side and bring the, in my case, it's the left foot, but for you it would be the right, vice versa. Okay, whichever foot you haven't done yet. Okay, try and keep both hips level. Okay, and then maybe if you're standing, you may want to take one hand to the heart, maybe both. You feel like you're steady enough. Keep that tail going under, so you got a little bit of core engagement. Shoulders are relaxed. You just find that connection with the ground. Just one more breath. And we come back to center. Okay, so one more little exercise standing. You can do this standing, or if you want, you can go back to sitting. If you want to watch for a second, I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing. So we're going to step back and bend the knees, stick the bum out, and come forward. This is quite a stretch for the hamstrings, so don't feel like you have to have your legs super straight. We're just stretching the back of the legs. Inhaling, coming back up. And as we exhale, we come forward. Keep a little bit of tone in your belly, just creating that nice stretch on the back of the legs. And the lower back is super long, okay? So no arching of the lower back. Nice and long lower back. We do that a couple more times. Inhaling. Again, if you're on the chair, the hands are on the thighs, and you're just leaning forward, focusing on your lower back. Okay, one more. Okay, so if you want to try one more thing and you feel up to it and you don't have any issues like osteoporosis on your lower back, we're going to go unsupported. So you're going to stretch your arms out to the side. If you're practicing with someone, make sure you're not poking them in the eye. Okay, and then you're going to come forward as far as you can, nice and slow. And then very slowly coming back up. And we do that just one more time. And if you don't want to do it hands free, keep your hands on your chair. Okay? So coming forward. Slowly lifting back up. Hands at the heart. Knees are soft. If you're standing, take a moment to appreciate this lovely neutral posture of the body with all the bones stacking one on top of the other. If you're sitting, just appreciate that nice structure of the spine, keeping you nice and tall as you're sitting on your chair. Relax the shoulders, soften the grip around your waist and your chest, and take a couple of nice deep breaths. Okay, so if you're standing, we're going to go back to sitting. We're just going to close the practice with a gentle twist and then a little back bend. So for the twist, we're going to reach up. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bring both hands to the right thigh. Breathe in, reach up. As you breathe out, bring both hands to the left thigh. Nice and gentle twist. One more time on each side, inhaling. Exhaling. And again, inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling, reaching up. And as you exhale, hands to the thighs. Feet are grounding, nice and flat on the floor. Elbows come down towards your thighs. Okay. And you reach forward with your chest, just looking up. This is the side profile. Yes, so we're trying to bend the upper spine. Sphinx pose. Just a couple of breaths. Then we arch the spine gently the other way, looking back towards the belly. Just taking a couple of breaths in a forward bend. Walking the hands along the thighs and coming back to the pause we had right at the start of the practice. And if you want to have the support of the back of your chair, feel free to sit a little bit further back. Just make sure your spine feels nice and tall and that you feel comfortable. Okay, so about 5 minutes now where we're just gonna let the practice sink in and allow for everything to go back in its place. So begin just like we did right at the beginning by steadying the body, settling into a shape that works for you today. You may want to let your knees be a little wider. You may want to really find the support of the back of the chair if you're feeling a little tired. And we begin the practice by softly closing the eyes and becoming very familiar with the shape of our body on the chair. Noticing the feet grounding into the earth. Noticing the hip bones touching the chair, the thighs. Maybe you can feel the inside of your arms touching the sides of your body, and that space may feel warm. Feel your spine stretching tall from the chair all the way to the neck. And then notice for a moment where your head is. You can rock it gently from one side to the other, back and forth, trying to locate a position where the head feels comfortable and settled. There's no tension in your shoulders at all. The arms are soft, the hands are resting on your lap. Now take a moment to feel the softness of your belly, of your abdomen. And if what you find is not softness, then imagine that there is softness there. And by softness, I mean it's a relaxed space. It's an open space, welcoming for the breath. We let go of any gripping from our buttocks, our legs, the fingers, the face. There's no clenching or gripping in any way. We can feel the soft space between the toes, between the fingers. We can feel the space in our nostrils, space in our ears. We feel our eyes underneath our eyelids. Feel the space between one temple and the other. In the space of our throat. So Vipassana meditation is all about being fully present, starting from our body. So if you take a bird's eye view of your body, what part of the body do you feel the most at the moment? Is there an area where you feel sensation? And if you feel sensation that is not pleasant, refrain from labeling it with the word pain. Just call it sensation. Acknowledge that sensation, whether it is pressure of one sit bone or the other on the chair, or whether it is indeed sensation maybe from your lower back or one of your shoulders. Acknowledge it. I can feel you. And then try and focus on an area of the body where you don't feel so connected to the chair, for instance. Maybe you feel a little lighter, distant. Maybe your feet feel light, maybe your shoulders or even your head just feels separated from the first area that you connected to. These are not easy practices, so try and remain calm if it's difficult for you to identify or localize these areas. Just takes practice. And then try and feel all the areas in between that area where you feel the most sensation and where you don't really feel much sensation at all. Notice the shape of your body. Feel a deep connection to the ground through your feet and your sit bones. Feel a deep connection with the air and the sky through the crown of your head and your shoulders. Notice how the hips seem to be right in the middle of these two forces. The grounding of the legs, the lifting of the crown of the head. Now throughout this guided meditation, take a moment to notice how difficult or easy it is for your mind to remain with my words, with the practice. In the next stage, we move our awareness to feeling the breath moving the body we've been connecting to. So take a moment to notice your body is still. The only movement is really the movement created by the breath. So notice these rhythmic movements coming and going on the breath, inhales and exhales. Notice if the breath gets stuck anywhere, whether your inhale is easier than the exhale. Notice if your attention is mainly focused on breathing in, and see if you can share that out with the breathing out as well. So remaining focused on your breath, both on the inhale and the exhale. Now, throughout these practices of concentration, your body might become a little tense. So I'd now like you to drop back into the awareness of your body and notice if you feel a little perhaps tense in your shoulders or your neck or your face. Notice if your jaw is still relaxed or whether it feels a little locked. And with your eyes still closed, I'd like you to begin to create some very gentle movements in your fingers, just maybe opening and closing the hands a few times. Maybe lifting and dropping the shoulders a couple of times, or maybe moving the feet. Okay, so just very gentle, small movements, bringing you fully back into the room. The head is heavy, so you might want to move that if the neck is feeling a little tired. And then once again, re-establish your posture with a nice tall spine. And softly breathe in deeply a couple of times. Inhaling. Pausing right at the top of the inhale, just for a brief moment, and then exhaling. Pausing, and one more, inhaling. And exhaling. Bring the hands together in front of the heart, rubbing the palms of the hands. It's a little bit of heat. And then bringing these hands softly to the eyes, to give the eyes a haven, to be able to take a few blinks, just very slowly coming back into the brightness of the room by opening the hands slowly as you look down towards the ground, and take the hands to the heart. And this is where we pause for a moment to thank ourselves for showing up for ourselves today and practice. And you may want to set an intention for the rest of your day to perhaps remain calm, or perhaps finding the energy to do some small tasks around the house. And we close the practice with Namaste. Namaste.